So this is my story, which sounds as if it is a script from a Hollywood movie, but unfortunately it is not. Whether you will believe me or not is up to you. But still, I'm sharing my story here. It was my wedding day. I was 29 male, finally settling down with the love of my life. Let's call her Sarah, the woman I thought was my soulmate. We'd been together a little over 3 years. We'd gone through some ups and downs. What couple hasn't? But I really thought we were solid. I mean, we were planning a life together, kids, a house, everything. The day started just like you'd expect. Nerves, excitement. Me and the guys, my best man Tom, a couple of close buddies from college, we're in the groom's suite getting dressed, joking around, having a drink to calm our nerves. Classic groom stuff. I was smiling, maybe even glowing a little. Everything felt good. Sarah and I hadn't done a first look. She wanted to keep it traditional, and I was all for that. She'd been a little distant the last few weeks, but I chalked it up to wedding stress. That's what everyone says, right? That brides turn into these high-strung, slightly different people because of the pressure. I ignored my gut. Then Kevin, my buddy from back in high school, who also happens to be our wedding videographer, comes barging into the room. He looked pale, like ghost-level pale. I remember laughing at first. "Dude, you okay? You look like you saw a ghost." He didn't laugh. He said, "Mark, I need to talk to you. Alone. It's important." At the same time, the door bursts open. Chloe and Megan, Sarah's two best friends, walking like they own the place. Chloe's grinning, all sugar-sweet and fake. She says something like, "Hey, sorry to barge in, but Sarah needs you real quick. Some zipper emergency. Can you come for just a second?" I started moving toward them when Kevin grabbed my arm and said, firmly, "Hey, did I have some urgent work? So don't go. Just trust me. Give me 10 minutes. It's really urgent. Please." I was shocked. I've never seen him like that before. He was borderline shaking. I was annoyed too. Like, this is my wedding day. What the hell could be so important? But something in his tone stopped me. I looked at Chloe. She was still smiling, but it didn't reach her eyes. Megan wouldn't even look at me. "I'll be there in 10, I said, brushing them off. Once they left, Kevin and I went to a different room. He pulls out his laptop, plugs in a memory card, and plays a video. I remember holding my breath. It was GoPro footage. One of the cameras he left in the bridal suite to get those cutesy prep shots, those candid shots. Except this time, the camera had been left running, accidentally, and what it caught shattered everything. Kevin clicked play, and the screen lit up. The video was a GoPro shot from the corner of the bridal suite. The quality wasn't perfect, but the audio was crystal clear. Sarah was sitting in front of a mirror, champagne flute in hand, still getting her hair curled. Chloe lounged on the couch, scrolling through her phone with a smug look, and Megan was pacing around, sipping straight from the bottle. There was a fourth girl too. I didn't recognize her. The mood wasn't what I expected. It wasn't nerves or butterflies or even excitement. It was something else, mean, calculated, venomous. "Chloe, so, ready to start your new life with Captain Mediocre?" She snorted. "Megan, can't believe you're really doing this. Girl, you're too hot to be wasting your prime years with someone who thinks Olive Garden is a luxury dinner." Sarah, laughing, "Ugh, I know. When he told me our honeymoon was to Costa Rica, I nearly gagged. I mean, yeah, it's tropical, but come on. It's giving budget. My ex took me to Greece, and that wasn't even for a honeymoon." "Chloe, I mean, let's talk about that ring. Like, did he win in a claw machine?" "Sarah, it's so small. When I showed it to the girls at work, they were trying not to laugh. One of them literally said it looked like a starter ring for a high school couple." "Megan, but you said yes?" "Sarah, I didn't want to be stuck single at 30. And at the time I thought, okay, at least he's stable. Predictable. But then I started thinking, like, this is it. This is who I'm locking down with. A man who shops off the clearance rack and thinks love means Netflix and split bills." "Chloe, you deserve a man who worships you, who knows your worth." "Sarah, exactly. And thank God Alex came back into my life when he did. It was like divine timing." "Megan, alpha energy. That man screams control the room." Sarah, smiling. "He said he can't believe I downgraded so hard. Said I look like a hostage every time I posted pics with Mark. And honestly, he's not wrong. Alex makes me feel like a goddess. Like he plans things. Expensive things. Just because. He sees my potential." "Chloe, so what's the plan? Just leave Mark standing at the altar." "Sarah, no. That's too dramatic. I don't want people to feel bad for him. He needs to look like the bad guy." We agreed we'd go ahead with the ceremony. And then Megan steps in. "Megan, yep. I'll break down crying and say try to touch me when we were alone. So I didn't want to ruin the day, but I couldn't stay quiet anymore. Boom. Wedding's over. He's done." "Chloe, laughing girl, you're an evil genius." "Sarah, it's not evil. It's survival. This man is dragging me into a basic life. I deserve more. Why should I be tied down to some average guy who buys sale champagne and wears off-the-rack suits when I could be with someone who actually matches my level?" "Megan, facts. Men like him cry about loyalty when they can't even book a first-class flight. Like, bro, if I have to fly middle seat on my honeymoon, I'll in it myself." "Sarah, Alex said he'll take me to the Maldives instead. He said after I'm done with this circus, we'll start fresh. He's even looking at condos already." "Chloe, just make sure you don't leave any loose ends. Mark seems like the type who'll cry online and get sympathy." "Sarah, that's why Megan's part is crucial. Once that drops, no one's gonna believe him. No one questions a crying woman." Megan, smirking, will destroy him before he even realizes it. The video cut off. The screen went black. The room was silent. So quiet I could hear my heartbeat in my ears, thudding like it was trying to punch its way out of my chest. I didn't move. I couldn't. I just stared ahead, eyes glazed over, brain fried. The weight of what I just seen, just heard, it was too much. It wasn't like the movies. There was no slow swelling music, no dramatic gasp. It was just numbness. Cold, sickening, paralyzing. Then came the pain. The type that starts in your chest and makes its way through every inch of your skin like acid. I felt like I was going to throw up, or pass out, or both. They weren't just leaving me. They weren't just cheating on me. They were planning to destroy me, frame me, humiliate me, bury me alive under a lie so vile, so calculated, so evil. All because I wasn't enough in their eyes, A ring that wasn't big enough. A honeymoon that wasn't bougie enough. A life that didn't have enough glitz and glam and Instagram-worthy aesthetics. And suddenly, all the red flags I ignored, they started flashing in my mind like neon signs in a horror show. The late nights with the girls. The makeup left on way after midnight. The sudden switch in her attitude. Short-tempered, distracted, secretive. The phone always upside down. The text she typed with her body angled away from me. The planning meetings that felt more like parties I wasn't invited to. There was that night 2 months ago. She came back home past midnight, reeking of expensive perfume she never wore around me. Said they were trying out fragrances for bridesmaids. I believed her. Like an idiot. She'd stop cuddling, stopped asking about my day. When I tried to talk about honeymoon plans, she rolled her eyes and said, "Let's just not do something boring, okay?" She was already gone. Mentally, emotionally, physically. She was with him, with Alex, and she was using me. I gave her my heart, my loyalty, my future, and she handed it over to her single, bitter friends like a sacrifice for clout. They laughed at me, mocked my ring, mocked my love. I wasn't a man to them. I was a joke, a placeholder. And then, the worst part, they were going to ruin me for good. If Kevin hadn't left that GoPro running, if he hadn't trusted his gut and rushed in, I would have walked into that bridal suite alone, with Megan, for help, and 10 minutes later, I'd be sitting in a police cruiser, accused of something vile and unforgivable, with my life over before the wedding even began, all because I loved the wrong person. I was spiraling. Rage, heartbreak, shame, confusion, all of it. Kevin stood silently next to me, like a guardian angel who just yanked me from the edge of a cliff. Then came a knock. The door creaked open, and there they were again, Chloe and Megan. I swear to God, it took every cell in my body to not lash out. Megan gave me this fake worried smile. "Hey, everything okay? You're not having second thoughts, are you?" Chloe stepped in, her tone all sugary. "Sarah's getting anxious. Can you come now?" I looked them both in the eye, smiled, and said, "Tell her I'll be there in 10. They exchanged a glance, probably thinking I was just another clueless puppy, still wagging his tail. I shut the door and turned to Kevin. My voice came out low. "Get the boys." He didn't need details. He knew exactly what he had to do. The next 30 minutes were a blur, but with a purpose. Tom, my best man, was the first to arrive. Then James and Leo, my guys, my brothers, the ones who'd been through everything with me since high school. Kevin played the video again. No commentary, no interruptions, silence. When it ended, Tom's face was red. Leo looked like he was about to cry. James just whispered, "Holy SH*T. I stood in the middle of them, broken, but focused. I stared down at the floor for what felt like a full minute. Then I stood up, slowly. My voice came out clearer than I expected. "All right, we're not doing this. Not like this." Everyone looked at me. I'm not walking into that trap. I'm not letting them twist it. If I just cancel the wedding, they'll spin the story however they want. Make me look crazy, guilty, bitter. Who knows? Kevin nodded slowly, like he'd been hoping I'd say that. "So what do you want to do?" "I want the truth out. Publicly. Today." Tom stepped up. "You sure?" "No," I said. "But I know I can't let them bury this." "I'm not letting them win," I said. "Whatever you need," Tom said without hesitation. We made a plan. Quick, clean, loud enough to be permanent. Back at the venue, chaos, but the quiet kind. The kind where everything looks normal, but underneath, the clock is ticking down to 0 hour. The ceremony was already running late because I was in that side room, having my entire reality nuked by Kevin's GoPro footage. Now, walking back towards the main hall, where everyone was waiting felt like wading through cement. I could feel the eyes on me as I finally reappeared, heard the whispers starting up like little wildfires. There he is. Where was he? Is everything okay? Did he get cold feet? I ignored them all. Didn't smile, didn't wave, didn't make eye contact. Tunnel vision straight ahead. My mom caught my eye mouth. "Are you okay?" I gave a tiny nod that probably looked more like a twitch. Her parents looked confused, maybe a little annoyed by the delay. Good, let them stew. Then I saw her, Sarah, standing near the entrance to the ceremony space, looking like butter wouldn't melt in her mouth, surrounded by Chloe and Megan, the Vipers. She rushed towards me the second she saw me, face painted with the most convincing mask of worried relief I'd ever seen. It was chilling, knowing what was behind it. "Mark, oh my God, where were you?" she exclaimed, loud enough for nearby guests to hear her concern. She grabbed my hands, hers feeling ice cold despite the warm day. "I've been losing my mind. I was asking for you for 30 minutes. You had me freaking out. Is everything all right?" Her voice trembled slightly. Her eyes searched mine, wide and seemingly full of worry. God, she was good. She really could have won an Oscar for this performance. I had to fight the urge to recoil from her touch. Had to force myself to play along, just for a few more minutes. I nodded slowly, keeping my face carefully neutral. Yeah, I'm okay." My voice sounded rough, distant even to me. Just needed a minute. Overwhelmed, I guess. Big day jitters, the perfect excuse. She gave me this tight hug, burying her face briefly in my chest. It made my skin crawl. Every instinct screamed danger. I knew what she'd said in that room with her friends. Knew the vile plan they'd cooked up. Knew this loving fiancé routine was just act one of my public execution. But I couldn't let her see that I knew. Not yet. I didn't hug back. Just stood there stiffly until she pulled away, giving me one last worried glance before letting the wedding planner hustle us towards the stage. The crowd clapped as we walked past, oblivious. Sarah was glowing, not with love, but with the thrill of the impending kill. Like a predator, just minutes away from taking down its prey. Little did she know, the prey was about to bite back. Hard. Rewritten scene 2. The vows and the reveal, based on your prompt. So we get up there, on the stage, under the floral arch, the whole 9 yards. The crowd settles down. The officiant starts talking love, trust, partnership, all the usual bullshit that now felt like a sick joke. My hands were freezing, but there was this weird, icy calm settling over me. Focus. Sarah went first with her vows, laid on thick, voice cracking with emotion, tears shimmering. How the hell did she do that on command? talking about how I was her rock, her safe place, the man she knew she'd spend forever with the moment she met me. People were actually sighing, tearing up in the audience. It was nauseating. Masterclass in manipulation. Then it was my turn. The officiant smiled at me. Mark your vows. I stepped up to the microphone. Didn't look at the notes I'd painstakingly written. Didn't need them anymore. I looked out at everyone, my parents looking proud, her parents beaming, our friends, my boss, everyone who mattered. Then I looked at Sarah. Her eyes were shining, expectant, ready for my loving words before Chloe stepped in for the kill. Sarah, I started, my voice steady, amplified across the suddenly quiet hall. I want to say how much I loved you, how much I thought this. I gestured between us, meant everything. I believed in us. I poured everything I had into building a life with you. She blinked, confused by the past tense, but still smiling slightly, waiting for the romantic payoff. I thought we were partners. I continued, my voice getting stronger. Soulmates even. But over the last 30 minutes, I saw a flicker of unease in her eyes, in Chloe's. Something very different came to light. A truth, a devastating truth that I wasn't prepared for. The murmuring started in the crowd. Sarah's smile vanished, replaced by confusion, then dawning panic. She knew something was wrong. I debated, I said, locking eyes with her, letting her see the cold knowledge there now, saying nothing, walking away silently. But the gravity of what was planned for me today, it doesn't deserve silence. I think everyone here deserves to know the truth. Not just me. Mark, what are you doing? She hissed, grabbing my arm, trying to keep her voice low but failing. Stop this. Stop what, Sarah? I pulled my arm free. Stop you and Chloe and Megan from executing your plan? The one where Chloe lures me away, fakes an assault accusation right before the rings, and you all destroy my life. Gasps exploded across the room. Chairs scraped. People were standing up, staring. Sarah went white as a sheet. Chloe looked like she was about to faint. Megan was already backing away from the front line of bridesmaids. So, I said, turning slightly to address the horrified guests, but mostly looking directly at Sarah, instead of the vows I wrote. I want to show you something. I nodded towards the back, towards Kevin, who stood ready by the AV equipment. Roll the tape. The lights dimmed slightly. The big projector screen behind the altar flickered to life, and the video started. Clear audio, clear video from the GoPro left in the bridal suite. Their faces, huge on screen. Their voices, amplified, filling the stunned silence. Chloe, Operation Groom goes down in flames. Sarah, sad little apology of a ring. Megan, Alex was totally right. He never truly valued you. Sarah, Alex helped me see. Mark needs his public reckoning. Chloe, lure him in that alcove. Tear my strap. Start screaming. Sarah, accuse him loudly. He tried to assault her. Megan, ruin him. Utterly. His career over. Sarah, serve him right for undervaluing me. Consider it my wedding gift to myself. Chaos. Immediate. Absolute chaos. People were shouting. Screaming. Sarah let out this raw, guttural shriek. No. No, no, no. Turn it off. It's fake. He edited it. She lunged towards the screen, trying to pull cords, clawing at the fabric, but Tom and my brother stepped in front of her, blocking her path. Megan shrieked and literally ran out of the hall through a side door. Chloe collapsed onto the stage floor, sobbing hysterically, babbling incoherently. Sarah turned on me then, mascara streaming down her face, dress slightly askew from her struggle, her mask of bridal perfection shattered into a million pieces, revealing the ugly, raging entitlement beneath. You bastard, she screamed, her voice raw with fury and humiliation. You think you're some kind of hero, ruining my wedding day, humiliating me like this in front of everyone. You were going to falsely accuse me of sexual assault. Sarah, I yelled back, finally letting my own rage surface. You were going to destroy my life. Over a ring. It wasn't just the ring, she shrieked, desperately trying to regain control, to spin the narrative. It was everything. You were never good enough. You were boring. You didn't appreciate me. I was settling, and I finally realized it. Alex made me see, this is your fault for not being better. She started sobbing again, but it wasn't heartbroken sobbing. It was the frustrated tantrum of a spoiled child caught red-handed. It was a joke. We were just venting. Girls do that. We weren't really going to do it. You twisted everything. You're trying to ruin me because you're insecure. Gaslighting until the bitter end. Then came the line that sealed it. The one that made even her own remaining bridesmaids step away from her in disgust. She looked at me, pure venom in her eyes. I stayed with you out of pity, because I felt sorry for your pathetic little life. That's when the room truly turned on her. A wave of collective revulsion. Her own mother stood up, tears streaming down her face, and walked straight out of the hall without looking back. Her father buried his face in his hands. I didn't need to say another word. The video, her reaction, her final hateful admission, it spoke volumes. I reached into my pocket, took out the ring I was supposed to give her, looked at it for a long moment. Then, I gently placed it on the officiant's podium. This wedding, I announced clearly into the microphone, my voice echoing in the stunned, chaotic room, is over. And then I walked away, down the aisle, alone. Didn't look back at the mess on the stage. Didn't meet the eyes of the shocked guests. Just walked out into the sunshine, leaving the wreckage behind. It was like my mind hadn't caught up to what just happened. I could hear people yelling behind me. Some were calling my name. Someone shouted, "Is this a prank?" A few gasps. A few sobs. The sliding glass doors opened as I stepped into the late afternoon light. The sun was warm, but I was cold. My suit felt too tight. I pulled the tie loose and just kept walking. I had no idea where I was going. Just knew I couldn't stay there another second. Tom caught up with me about a block down. He didn't say anything at first. Just walked next to me in silence. After a few minutes, he broke it. "You okay?" I shrugged. "Not really." He nodded. "Want to be alone?" "Nah, just quiet's good." We ended up at this small diner we used to hit in college. Sat in a booth in the back. Didn't even order food at first. Just coffee. Black. Burnt. It felt right. That's when the messages started rolling in. My phone lit up like a Christmas tree. Missed calls, voicemails, DMs, even emails. Who uses email in emergencies? Apparently, jilted bridesmaids do. Her parents called, over and over. I didn't answer. Her sister messaged me. What the hell, Mark? You embarrassed her in front of everyone. You could have just walked away. My buddy Kev sent one that just said, bro, you're trending. And yeah, he was right. Somebody had recorded the moment the video started playing. It hit Instagram within minutes. TikTok right after. Before I finished my first coffee refill, the clip had over 300k views. People online were already choosing sides. Team Mark, Team Sarah, Team the poor guests. Team, why do people record everything? It was chaos. And then came her voice message. I didn't listen to it right away. I couldn't. But eventually, curiosity won. She was crying. Hard. But it wasn't the kind of cry that made you feel bad for her. It was calculated. Like she knew which buttons to push. Mark, please. I know how it looked. But it's not like that. It was just talk. Just girl stuff. You know how they are. I got caught up. It was dumb. I never would have actually gone through with it. Then came the guilt trip. You ruined my life. My whole family hates me. My dad's heart rate spiked. My mom won't even look at me. Everyone thinks I'm a monster. Why would you do this? No apology. Just blame. Just like in a video. Yep, that happened. A few days later, I got an official notice. Sarah had lawyered up, claimed I defamed her, that I doctored the footage, humiliated her publicly, caused emotional trauma. Her lawyer tried to spin it into a revenge stunt. Said I'd set her up, that I was bitter about her pulling away emotionally before the wedding, that I was just trying to get back at her. But here's the thing. I never said her name in the post. Never identified the bridesmaids. Just posted the raw, unedited footage with a caption. Sometimes the truth shows up where you least expect it. I was lucky. Some people never see in time. That was it. No slander. No captions. No direct attacks. The internet did the rest. The support was overwhelming. People I didn't know were flooding my inbox. I showed this to my fiancée. We both cried. Thank you. You saved your own life, man. You dodged a bullet. This is why I always trust my gut. Wow. She was going to ruin you. Holy hell. Sure, there were critics too. Always are. Could've just canceled it. Didn't need to go viral. What about her family? Her reputation? Clout-chasing behavior. And maybe they had a point. I'll be real with you. I didn't do it for the internet. I did it for survival. Self-respect. The truth. The viral bit. That was just a side effect. Not her friends. Not even the bridesmaids from the video. Once the backlash hit, everyone started jumping ship. Chloe posted a Notes app apology, saying she was pressured into going along with a stupid joke. Megan disappeared from socials altogether. Her ex, the one who came back into her life and showed her the light, vanished. Ghosted. Poof. Turns out, the second the drama hit the fan, so did he. Funny how that works. Of course she did. About a month after everything, she started messaging again. I've cut off everyone who was toxic. I see now how blind I was. You were the one who truly loved me. Can we just talk? I ignored every message. At first. Then came the letters. Yes, actual handwritten letters. One of them had a press flower in it. She said she was in therapy, that she hated who she'd become, that she missed me, that she was lost. She never actually apologized for what she planned, just for letting herself be influenced. It was never her fault. Still isn't, if you ask her. I moved to a new town, not for dramatic reasons. Just want a fresh start. I kept my job, worked remote. I still talk to my guys. Kevin's a legend now. His GoPro has a permanent spot on our group chat banner. And yeah, I met someone. Funny enough, it started at the gym. She was doing squats, and I was pretending not to notice. I complimented her shoes to break the ice. They were dusty old Converses, but hey, it worked. She doesn't know much about the wedding story. I told her the short version. She didn't ask for more. She just looked at me and said, well, I'm glad you got out of that. So am I. I still think about that day. Still shudder sometimes when I replay the conversation from the video in my head. Still wonder how far they would have gone. Still get chills knowing how close I came to marrying someone who would have destroyed me over a damn ring and a trip to Bali. But here's the thing. That moment, Kevin forgetting his GoPro, that random, stupid accident, it saved my life. So yeah, to anyone out there second-guessing your gut because someone tells you you're too sensitive, or too much, or too needy, trust it anyway. The signs are always there. You just have to be willing to see them.